optimal minimalism.
At this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking.
Can I answer your personal question?
Now would seem an appropriate time.
What if I did the opposite?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
This episode is brought to you by AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I do get asked a lot what I would take if I could only take one supplement. And the true answer is invariably AG1. It simply covers a ton of bases. I usually drink it in the mornings and frequently take their travel packs with me on the road. So what is AG1? AG1 is a science-driven formulation of vitamins, probiotics, and whole food sourced nutrients. In a single scoop, AG1 gives you support for the brain, gut, and immune system. So take ownership of your health and try AG1 today. You will get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription purchase. So learn more, check it out. Go to drinkag1.com/Tim. That's drinkag1, the number 1, drinkag1.com/Tim. Last time, drinkag1.com/Tim. Check it out. Hello, boys and girls. This is Tim Ferriss, and welcome to another episode of The Tim Ferriss Show, where it is my job to deconstruct world-class performers of all different types to tease out the habits, routines, tactics, coping mechanisms, favorite books, whatever that you can apply and test in your own life. This episode features one of my favorite comedians of all time, and he's a young feller, Jerrod Carmichael. On Twitter, you can say hello at NotoriousROD. He is pushing the boundaries of comedy with his groundbreaking work in stand-up, television, and film. Now, he is just 29 years old. And what this North Carolina native has accomplished in that short period of time is mind-boggling to me. And I know a lot of productive people. We get into his work process. We talk about how he gets so much done. And if you visit him on social media right now, he has 0 posts on Twitter, on Instagram, at Jerrod Carmichael. And 2017 is going to be his biggest year yet. So we do talk about focus and how he went from East Coast to West Coast and got all of this done. Jerrod stars in the hit NBC series The Carmichael Show, which he also writes and executive produces. The 3rd season of that show is premiering this year in 2017. In March of 2017, this year, Jerrod will star in his 2nd stand-up comedy special on HBO, directed by Bo Burnham. He made his debut on HBO in 2014 with his critically acclaimed 1-hour special, Love at the Store, directed by Spike Lee. So Love at the Store. This is a name I want you to remember. You have to watch this. It is arguably the funniest stand-up special I've seen in many, many years. And it's the reason that I initially reached out to have Jerrod on the podcast. It left me in total hysterics on a transatlantic flight. Some wine might have been involved, but it terrified everyone because I could not stop bursting out laughing out loud while other people were trying to sleep. Sorry, everybody, but it's that good. And immediately, as soon as I got off the flight, started texting my friends, guys, you have to check out Love at the Store. So watch that and you'll know why I reached out to Jerrod. Now, on the big screen this June, Jerrod joins the cast of Michael Bay's Transformers, The Last Night, opposite Mark Wahlberg, Josh Duhamel. Am I getting that right? Duhamel, and Anthony Hopkins. He'll also appear in James Franco's The Masterpiece, set to be released in 2017. In the summer of last year, 2016, Jerrod reprised his role as Garf. If you've seen Neighbors, he did that in the Universal Comedy sequel Neighbors 2, opposite Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. I originally met in an indirect way, Jerrod through Seth and Evan, more specifically Evan Goldberg, both of whom have been on the podcast before. He also starred as Freddie opposite Rose Byrne, Susan Sarandon, and J.K. Simmons in The Meddler, which was released April 2016. So this guy's going nowhere but up, as far as I can tell. The most incredible work ethic and focus of anyone I've met in a very long time. And he'll have an upcoming, as yet untitled memoir coming out through Random House. He's got a million things going. How does he do it? We dig into all of it. And we also discuss dangerous comedy and much, much more. So please enjoy my conversation, as wide-ranging as it is, with Jerrod Carmichael. Sir, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I am so excited to finally sit down and record this because I remember very, very specifically the first time I was introduced to you, and it was actually on the working set for Neighbors 2. You had not yet arrived, but your picture was up alongside a bunch of other people who were going to be appearing in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was on the set because I was going to be interviewing Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen. And we were going through a few of the names. I was asking questions about folks, and he pointed to yours because I mentioned how I'd watched Neighbors and enjoyed your particular role in that movie. And he said, "Oh, he's going to be really big." Along those lines is what he said.
Oh, wow.
And
very nice.
And then shortly thereafter, I think I told you about this. We have all sorts of exciting sounds going on. We got a raven. We got running water.
A raven who's lost her family.
I was on a flight, an international flight, and Love at the Store was one of the options.
Yeah.
So you're special. And it may or may not have been the case that I had 1 or 2 glasses of wine.
Oh, that's the only way to watch it.
But it was a sleeper, so everyone was asleep except for me. And I'm drinking wine and watching your stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was going to be kicked out of the cabin because I laughed so much. And as soon as I landed, I did 2 things. Mm-hmm. So one of my friends, Mike, I immediately sent him a text. And I said, you have to watch this stand-up immediately, number 1.
Oh, wow.
And number 2 is that I went on Twitter, and this is how we met, if you might remember. And I said, is the Evan in your stand-up special Evan Goldberg?
Right. That's right.
That's how we connected.
That's right. And it was Evan Goldberg who was in the audience for the show, and I just talked to him. Just midway through the show, just start talking to Evan.
It was great. I mean, and you do a few things that I haven't seen in finished specials before. Another was you will refer to your notes on stage sometimes. Yeah,
for Love at the Store, the intention was to just capture me a Saturday night at the Comedy Store. I wanted it to be very truthfully, we cut for time, but Jamar Neighbors, who's this hilarious guy, my best friend, went up before me. I had this guy, Argus Hamilton, is just this legend of the Comedy Store and of the scene. He was there. It just felt kind of like a Saturday, we're doing spots, and I wanted to just capture it, and just me working out material. It was very much so like an exercise. It was oh yeah, and I referred to notes because I was trying out. I did new stuff on that special.
You did?
Yeah, I did new material.
Well, and I also remember asking you about your interactions with the audience. At one point you said your skin is so milky.
Yeah,
this one woman, they said, I don't think I've used that adjective ever in my life.
Yeah, it was the thing that popped in my head. I saw her, I was like, yeah, she had really milky skin. What can you say?
You describe it accurately.
I thought it was pretty milky, right?
It was.
I didn't want to be wrong.
No, it was very accurately described. How did you first connect with Evan?
Evan, I met, because I want to get this right, I met Josh and Alex who work at this company, and then I believe I met Evan actually on the set of the first Neighbors. I believe he seen me, and he and Nick Stoller and Seth, all involved in hiring me. But I'm trying to think, the first time we met, I think, was on set at Neighbors, and he's just this. It has incredible energy.
He has incredible energy. He
Yeah.
never sits during meetings.
No.
He's always standing or doing a Gollum squat.
Yes.
He has very good squat form.
Very amazing squat form. He paces around. He's and so many ideas. I've never met someone who has as many ideas as Evan.
Oh, yeah.
just rapid fire, and is able to take a thing and bend it and prod it on all sides. And it's incredible just watching Evan in a room.
He's a prolific generator of ideas.
Insane.
And I remember one of and we're going to talk a lot about, I think, how you develop your material and process, but I remember one of the experiences that I had in Atlanta was sitting in the writer's room while they were spitballing ideas.
Yeah.
And one person was manning a keyboard, typing everything in.
Mm-hmm.
And they had many, many, many different revisions of this script, which, as I understand it, is very kind of Judd Apatow, meaning what the script comes in looking at is nothing like the end product.
Changes to something else, yeah.
And so they were all shouting out suggestions, and Evan said fuck, I think, every third word. And it was just typed right in. And I remember at one point I was like, what's next? Because fuck is every third word.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he goes, no, the important thing, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you want to keep the generating of ideas and the editing of ideas separate. And you can always you can always defuck the script later. I just remember that line.
You can defuck
the script later.
That's brilliant. You can defuck the script later.
When do you remember, if you do, kind of your first memory of working on comedy or being funny?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I was so when I was a kid, we used to just record things. I was infatuated. We would take like the camcorder and just like record things and do sketches and or what I guess are you don't know what there's no form.
Right.
There's like you're just like recording whatever.
Yeah, freestyling.
And we like
when you say we, this is you,
me, the kids in the neighborhood, my family, everyone's involved, and we're all. I was really blessed to be around a lot of like creative minds, like people who are just like down and really creative and like really excited about just like jumping into characters and doing things. And so that was kind of the first experience, just kind of. But truthfully, 8th grade was really important for me. Like just comedy, specifically just comedy and thinking that I was maybe funny,
Why 8th grade? What happened in 8th grade?
I had a teacher who got me started reading the newspaper, and it was fun.
Do you remember his or her name?
Oh, Kwame Nyeri. So this guy,
all right,
just when Kwame Nyeri had me read the autobiography of Malcolm X, start reading like the New York Times and like the local newspaper, and this is like in 8th grade, and taking in all this information and like learning and kind of discovering myself. Like humor was just this big. It was how I broke the tension of any information that I received. So I remember specifically there being one moment in class. I don't know why this stands out so much, but he wanted to have a debate, right? And so we read an article. I don't remember specifically what it was about, but we were choosing. It was a guy that committed a crime, and we're deciding whether or not it was justified. And we were supposed to pick sides as a class. And he said, "Well, who thinks the crime, wasn't justified?" And everyone in the class except me raised their hand. And then they were like, "Well, who thinks it was?" And it was just me. And then for the next hour, no exaggeration, I debated like 23 other students on like just like, why this man deserved to commit a crime. And it was the most fun I ever had. It was like having information and then being able to put your own filter and manipulate it in your own way was so important to me. And that's in a sense, that's kind of if my comedy has a style or an intention behind it, it's that 8th grade class, me against everyone else in the class.
Well, that's part of the reason why I insisted my friend Mike watch your stuff.
Yeah.
Which I know Mike really well. I mean, 10 out of 10 hit with Mike also. But I remember watching, and I'm not going to spoil it for folks. There are a few instances in particular that, because I don't have the delivery and I wouldn't give you the context, I would get in trouble for just by mentioning. But I recommend everybody check it out. I think there will be a moment for everyone where you will probably feel extremely uncomfortable, offended, or both, and that is good for you.
It's healthy.
So I'll leave it.
It's really healthy.
I'll leave it at that. But you grew up in North Carolina.
In North Carolina, yeah.
How would you describe your family and childhood?
We had fun. We had fun. I can't speak for everyone in the neighborhood, but we enjoyed ourselves. Like my childhood was just asking a lot of questions, really, really curious about everything, and a family that allowed room for that. Like, everything was challenged. We questioned everything, like a lot of arguments, like it was constant arguing, but fun arguments, like amongst the family and friends in the neighborhood. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my childhood a lot. I mean, we didn't have like a lot of money, but it was great. It was great. It was like, I had a really creative childhood, I think.
How did your parents help foster that?
They gave me a lot of freedom. And especially in this neighborhood, like I've never had a curfew. I never had I would just be like, "All right, Mom, going out." And she's like, "All right, be safe. very she just said a prayer and just sent me out into the world. And just me and my friends, we just kind of go out and go get in fights and all the silly things that you do.
Throw dirt in each other's eyes.
Yeah, right. and they just gave me a lot of freedom. Like my mom and dad gave me a lot of freedom. So
what gave them the
which
confidence?
is so healthy. I hate when I see kids like being inhibited. Like it's like you have to otherwise. I guess you have to know the child. I guess it's specific to the child though. But like,
what did your parents do?
My mom was a secretary at the hospital, and my dad a truck driver.
Did that mean your dad was gone a lot of the time? Or?
Yeah, on the road a lot. Yeah, he was on the road a lot. So, me, my brother, and my mom, a lot of times just, I don't know. It was really, I like the neighborhood. There was so many characters, like you grew up in like a neighborhood like that or the hood or whatever you call it. And it's, so many characters. It's very passionate, very interesting people.
Yeah.
Very passionate. Everyone feels very strongly about everything. Everything is very strong. Like the type of cigarette they smoke, every detail is really, important to them.
What was the catalyst for pursuing comedy as a career or as a profession?
It was a thing that I felt I was really good at. I wasn't doing anything. I was in North Carolina. I was working at a shoe store and just not really doing anything.
Let me ask you maybe a strange question. How did you know you were good?
That's a really good question because it is, validation to, obviously you want to have, the feeling like inside your heart and know that you can do anything, right? Also, validation is important from outside sources. Like, you want to confirm that. If nobody's laughing, at some point, no matter how much you believe, like maybe this isn't a strength. You want to apply logic to, your dreams and your beliefs. And I had friends who, spoke very passionately about. One friend in particular who was like, no, you think like a comedian. Like you really should do this. Like it's different. It's like, it's funny, but it's not the way just the guy at your job is funny. It's like different. And she pushed me really hard to do it. And you just kind of know, like it was constant validation.
Right.
From, just in every
that.
situation, you're kind of that guy. And eventually you accept it. You either run from it or accept it.
Were you doing...
could you imagine I just like rebelled against like, no, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, right. Were you doing open mics at the time or was it just through social interaction?
I started comedy in LA. So I moved first and then did comedy because I'm competitive. And you should be competitive at some point,
So explain that, meaning you didn't want to do it where you didn't feel... the scene
I don't want to
strong?
do it with someone, where the scene's not necessarily strong. And truthfully, there are great scenes around the country. There's, Chicago and Atlanta and San Francisco has an amazing comedy scene, but New York, LA, really New York for just repetition's sake, like you can go up so many times, but LA is what, like it really is the best are here, the best are in New York. Like, you want to be around the best. You don't want to just, there are a lot of people kind of doing comedy everywhere. There's a lot of people kind of doing it in New York and LA too, but also you have these amazing comedians and these people who spend all of their time you kind of have to create or go to the artist colony for whatever you do, I think, right? Like you got to find it and you want to compete and you want to see what you have to gauge. You have to take the temperature of, whatever we're talking about.
Well, if you're the average of the 5 people, we also have a black helicopter coming to pick up some special operations folks who are having lunch next to us.
So many helicopters in LA.
There are a lot of helicopters in LA.
An insane amount of helicopters.
So, if you're the average of, say, the 5 people you associate with most, then going to where the competition is the strongest is really important, right?
So important.
And were your parents at all worried for you? Do you have to have a big conversation with them about packing up and moving west? Or?
Yeah, it was kind of, you know what, I've been thinking about it's been on my mind for a while. A guy came into the shoe store I was working at. Mind you, I'm like 19, 20 at the time.
What were you doing at the shoe store?
Just
selling shoes?
Just selling them, man. Just putting insoles in. Trying to sell you on some cleaner, doing the whole thing. And I did a damn good job, mind you.
Yeah.
finish line. I told a lot of, I think I deserved more. I mean, I would okay, anyway. But a guy came in and he, just small talk with a customer, and I'm like, what do you do? And he said he's an actor, he lives in LA. And I was like, man, I want to move to LA. And he was like, just move. And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, just move. And then he got me told me about West Side Rentals and Craigslist and all these things. And I just found a place, told my parents. My sister bought me a plane ticket.
Wow.
My brother was excited. They were excited. My mom was more nervous. My dad was really encouraging. But no one's ever done that from my neighborhood. Like no one had ever. I mean, what is that?
Yeah, just move.
You're gonna just move to Los Angeles to do comedy? All right.
Seems to have worked out for you. You always have the shoes to fall back on if the comedy thing work
listen,
out.
Hey, I am, not to toot my own horn, but I'm fucking amazing. I still can look at like certain shoes and like I know style numbers. I'm just like style numbers. I know what department it is.
All right. So now, what made you good at selling shoes?
I think the same thing that made me good at comedy, interest, competition.
Competition among other employees?
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. Me and my friend Ben used to just, we competed on everything. Like everything was, because if you're going to do it, in that moment, like, you should have a need or at least a curiosity of, well, what does being the best at this feel like? Right? Like
sure.
I went bowling the other night and, I first kind of playing around and then my friends start bowling a little bit better. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start bowling a little bit better. And before you know it, like, I'm like, at least spares on every friend. Like, I was hot because competition, it drives you.
Makes you better.
Yeah, it makes you better. I love it.
So I want to talk about your daily schedule a little bit because I find it fascinating. So do you wake up at a consistent time? Generally, or is it all over the place?
It's kind of all over the place.
Okay.
I don't sleep a lot. Did I ever tell you changed my life?
I don't think so.
Not disrupting REM cycles.
Yeah.
Is genuinely, it's helped so much for someone like me who really, I mean, I got 4.5 hours last night, which is not bad. It's not bad. Sometimes I'll do 3. Get solid 90-minute days in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually feel amazing on 90 minutes of sleep.
If you're getting the ultradian cycle, that 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Or in multiples of those 90, it makes a big difference.
It really helped. Like, just, I don't sleep a lot. I mean, certain nights, you can kind of catch up, but I'm usually excited. I'm like up, I'll like read until like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then
that's my programming too.
Yeah,
late,
and then because of certain projects, I have to wake up early.
Right.
Like I have to be up at 8 tomorrow, which is, not ideal, but it's fun. I mean, you're up, you do it. We'll jump into some rehearsals or something.
What is the first phone call that you make each morning?
To my mom.
All right. Can you tell us about this?
Because I don't want to start my day with bullshit. I don't like noise. I don't like too much noise, right? As a helicopter flies above, right? I don't like noise. My mom has a great spirit, like one of the purest people that I know. She doesn't overcomplicate anything. She has such a grace. I love starting. I won't take business calls before I talk to her. My sister as well. The first call of my day is really important. So sometimes I'll talk to like my sister first as well if my mom's too busy for me or something. But like I actually really like starting a day. A very peaceful, brief conversation. See what she's doing.
Is it just a general catch up, or is there
just kind of general? What are you doing today? Just curious. I'm very curious what she's doing, what she's interested in. Like I talk to her for a few minutes, and then I'll do other calls. But like you want to start it, in a very peaceful place, and then yell about marketing for an hour.
Right. You need the like spiritual palate cleanser first.
Exactly. Because that first moment, like you just jump into a thing, like you want to center yourself first
for sure
before jumping.
Is there
in.
a particular way you end those calls?
Just kind of a sweet, I love you, like a sweet, or me. I'm more aggressive than she is, so me, like, hey, make sure I'm trying to make sure my parents are hydrated. So I'm like, fuss at her about water every morning. I'm just like, all right, ma, you know, like
Have another glass of
have
water.
another glass. Yeah, have a couple liters today, and which is insane to her. And so,
There's something about moms and not hydrating. I don't know what
does
it
your
is.
mom not hydrate?
No.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of mothers of my friends also, their sons or daughters are on them about drinking more water.
Drink more water.
I don't know what it
My
is.
mom and dad, like every day, just like, how much water did you drink? Like it's the question. So I'm more combative than she is. She's in such a great constant state of zen, and I'm just like, yeah, but how much? You know, I'm like fussing at her about water.
You love life. That's great. Let's talk about the water.
Yeah.
How many ounces?
Yeah. How many ounces? Yeah, exactly. And so, but it's just a great way to start the day.
So you have, and I pinged Evan before we met up, as I mentioned, to try to get some bullets to talk about.
Yeah.
One was he seems to, well, and again, I'm paraphrasing this, but seems to eat the same things and eat at the same places constantly. And then we sat down, we had a bite to eat just maybe 20 minutes ago, and you had scrambled eggs and blueberries.
Yeah.
And you said this has been your default, was it lunch for the last...
breakfast. Well, whatever time breakfast is, but
Right.
yeah, for years. Blueberries and eggs. It just, I feel great. Blueberries and eggs, you know, and I used to do almonds, now walnuts. Start the day, you know, like I'm a creature of habit, you know, and I like the restaurant, and I like everything to kind of move efficiently. I like the rhythm. You walk into a restaurant, you know what you're getting, you know, you bring friends, they're familiar with you, you're familiar with them.
Saves you brain cycle.
So, yeah, exactly, because you can put all that energy toward like creating, thinking, figuring things out. You know.
So you also mentioned something, and I was like, "Wait, hold it! I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. Actually, I do want to talk about it when we're recording." That you had a uniform for a very long time.
Yeah. I was wearing the same. I bought like a lot of the same shirt. It was just like white sweatshirt, gray pants, like Timberlands, every day. It worked in any place that I went. That's what I like. It worked everywhere.
Flexible.
I'll go to your wedding in this thing. I go to, and just the same thing. And because it took out so much time in my morning.
That's very much
now,
Steve Jobsian. That's what he did.
Yeah, but now I'm like off a little bit. It's still kind of in the same.
Why did you
ballpark
change
of
it?
things. I mean, clothes are fun. You know, I like certain clothes, and you know, I'll go through a phase and just and I'm picking out, you know, a lot of like wardrobe for like the show and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about clothes,
Right.
You know, but you want intention behind everything. So, you know, I was just wearing the same thing. It was perfect. I'll go back to that. I'll absolutely go. Yeah, I'll go back to that.
What do you think your next uniform will be? Or will it
Maybe
be
the same thing. It worked. But maybe switch. Maybe a gray sweatshirt.
Go crazy.
White James Purse sweatshirt, Acne jeans,
and some Timberlands.
That's it. Every morning. You don't think about it. It's just in stacks. I just had stacks of the shirts and stacks of the pants, and just grab the one off the top.
Do you remember the first time that you bombed? Or what was the first memorable bomb?
Ooh, my first set.
Your first set?
My first set was just, I mean, atrocious.
This was open mic?
Open mic at the Comedy Store. Nobody was in the audience. It was an open mic. I went up first at the open mic. The sun was up. I was competing against the sun. And it's this giant window, and it's where I taped my first special. It was like the giant window at the Comedy Store.
This is in the original?
The original room of the Comedy Store, yeah. And it's August, and the sun is up, and they're just comedians in the back. So I guess technically I didn't bomb. But it was a soliloquy. I was just doing a soliloquy up there. It wasn't comedy. I just went up and just kind of talked way too fast and got off the stage.
Talked way too fast.
Yeah.
How would you coach, or what advice would you give to a comic? You see someone, they do a set and they just bomb, and they're new, and they come off and you can tell that they're totally demoralized. What do you say to that person?
It's just people.
What do you mean?
Like the audience, it's people. We're all just people, you know. Like it's no, you know, go do it again. But I honestly, sometimes the bombing indicates that you're going to, you know, some type of new territory for you, and only you know you. So like, sometimes it's good. It's a good thing. It's kind of like a cleansing, you know, and so you can't run from it. You know, tell yourself it'll never happen again. It will, but tell yourself that it won't and go do it again, you know, and stop, you know, I wonder if it's like this I know comedy really well, but everyone's like kind of looking for like rules to follow. And as soon as you realize there aren't any, the better art can be, you know, like it's like, because people start looking for like, well, you got to do this first, and you know, and for that first special, I remember I got a lot of like flack from especially like older comics, and you're just like, well, he's checking his notes on HBO. What is this kid doing?
And you're like, we're in the 10 Commandments of comedy.
Yeah, where? You know what I mean? Mort Saul checked his notes. You know, he was like you can do whatever you want. You can, and people don't accept that. People don't know how free they are.
My understanding with just to talk about the original room, did they let cameras in there a lot?
That was the first time anyone had taped anything in there.
How did that happen?
I mean, we were pretty persistent. I had a really specific vision. You know, me and my friend Andrew had talked about specifically what it would look like and what that first special would be. And so it just had to be that room. So it was just pretty insistent. And, you know. Now,
they, of course, have the power to say no, right? So you can't just hit them with the same pitch 40 times in a row.
Yeah.
They're going to be like,
well, then, but
fuck off, kid, number one.
But on the 35th time, smile more. You just smile. You know, you add a little. We were just pretty, I mean, that room had been very special to me, and it just kind of worked out. You know, I'm very thankful. They had never done it before, but there was no reason to not do it just because you never done it before. So, you know, I guess you were able to convince them. You know, HBO. I wasn't just bringing. You know, it wasn't just like me and a couple friends with camcorders. This was like HBO.
You didn't bring your over-the-shoulder VHS.
Yeah, just like, hey, but let us release this. Like, this was HBO, you know, and you know, because of that certain amount of exclusivity, I think it was a good first time for them. Yeah, I think some people have recorded in there since, but like no one, and especially in that room. Yeah.
I had my first ever walkthrough tour of Comedy Store by
what was that?
Brian Callen a while back.
You know, Brian Callen bought me my first car in LA.
Really?
Brian Callen and Dove Davidoff bought me a car. I was
never met Dove, also one of my favorites.
They're both incredible. Like I'm so thankful for them. And like really, like it was like Brian Callen, Dove Davidoff, Brett Ernst would look out for me, Al Madrigal would look out, and all these people were just like really. Bill Burr was like so nice to me, but Brian and Dove bought me a car.
Wow!
Because I was like walking, they're like, you shouldn't do it, and I got like a text like, go pick up your car. Like we done a weekend in La Jolla, and then on that Monday, I just got a text like, go pick up your car, and it was one of the nicest things.
Good guys.
Brian is amazing.
He's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart of a guy.
So funny, so great.
And he walked me through, and he's like, "Yeah." And then here's the table. You can see all the scratch marks from razor blades.
Oh yeah,
where all the comedians are doing
tables,
lines.
There's a little piano in one of the green rooms, and it's a little tiny glass piano. Not a real piano. It's just a table, a coffee table. It looks like one. It's so many lines, and we like to. Me and my friend Angelo used to like to point to the lines and assign them to certain comedians. Like, oh, there's Richard Pryor's. Like just assign it to like
his razor blade signature.
It's still there. We're so excited.
What other routines do you have that are important to you, or things that you repeat? You mentioned the food, which for me is extremely key.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to think about what to have for breakfast.
Yeah,
locations. I repeat locations all the time. You mentioned the clothing, which is something that has been true for me for a long time, but I've aspired to have a uniform.
Yeah.
More of a uniform. Also to make me care less about what people think of my external appearance.
Yeah.
It's like, if you just have like a white Hanes shirt and jeans, it's totally fine. And if people are judging you because of that, then
the people that matter realize that all that you should focus on is the work. Right now, at clothing or all these things as it relates to work are important.
Right.
You know, like it's a lot of intention behind, like I said, like wardrobe for the show with that type of thing. I think about that because I think everything should have some type of intention behind it. But as far as just like, make you feel good. I mean, obviously, clothing can, make someone feel good, but focus on like work, focus on something of substance that means something, and that's why, because if being a creature of habit works so good because you don't spend a lot, and you were talking about like listening to music while working, right? And we're talking, if you spend all of your energy trying to figure out where you are and reorient yourself, like, all right, well, what is this? And you're looking around, you're not focused on what you're supposed to focus on. So you go to the same place, you sit in the same spot, and so then you can ignore everything and you can just, be directed inward.
Well, we were talking about music, just to touch on that, because I'm able to work to certain types of music, generally instrumental, often electronica, but it seems like neither of us can work to jazz.
Yeah, I want to figure it out. I play it sometimes and try and write, but I just want to figure it out. It's like, man, what is Miles Davis doing right now?
You're trying to dissect what's happening.
Yeah, you want to
how it's composed.
It's on a whole, and so I just listen to it separate. I can think to it, and like but if I'm like writing or if I'm trying to work on something really specific, like just silence.
What are some of the best decisions that you made in the first few years of your career? You land in LA. Do you remember any of the decisions that
maintain a certain amount of exclusivity for yourself?
What does that mean?
I think, for instance, like you don't go. We're just talking about habits, so it's going to seem like it immediately contradicts it. But like even like open mics, I wouldn't do the exact same open mics every time, because you do well, and then move on to the next place. Like stay in motion, and that's specifically for what I was doing, and I'm sure it applies to other things too. But don't stay in one spot too long. Don't
get too comfortable.
Don't get too comfortable. Like while working. Like while that sounds like the complete opposite of what I just said, but I mean it for like doing stand up and like that type of thing. Don't hit up the same spots. Like,
well, there's also a big difference, maybe, and sorry to interrupt, but I just thought that maybe there's a big difference between having habit and routine for training, but then performing. You want to be able to do well in different environments.
Spread it out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Training is one thing. And when you're working, thank you very much. It saved me. It sounded like a complete, it's like,
I think you were doing fine.
But wait, what?
No.
But it is that. It is that. Like, and so that was really useful. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people. All my friends, I'm the thing that I feel luckiest with is like the group of people that I'm around. I really have excellent friends who like care about like making things and creating, and like don't get caught up in trivial things that won't matter tomorrow. Like we don't get caught up in things that don't matter tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. We like new experiences and we like, having fun, but we like work. I mean, I was at my office with friends until 6 this morning, 5 or 6 this morning, just work. And it's
this
the
is
most
a Sunday.
Fun. Yeah.
As context.
On Saturday night, my entire Saturday, I don't go out really. Like, I don't like do too much. Like, every now and then, but for the most part, like just work. And my friends think like that,
Did you seek them out? Was it luck? How did that happen? Did you look at the people you met and say, all right, this guy talks about too much trivial bullshit, I'm just going to have to spend less time with this person?
Yeah,
how did that happen?
You can kind of see it in certain people. One of my best friends, Ari, we both have such small social lives, virtually non-existent social lives that it just works. Like we aren't, we'll go work like right after this. I'll go meet up with him and we'll go write, and we enjoy it. It is so fun, and we don't get like. It's not like if I heard someone talk about like, oh, I want to find a bar to go watch the game at. While that sounds fun, and I'm really happy for you, I also know that we're just doing two different things.
Two different channels.
We're in two different channels. Like it's like, wait, why are we gonna find a bar? What? I mean, watch it on your phone in between writing or in between doing what you do. But like, what? Why are you doing that?
Have you always had that focus on deep work? Is it because, it doesn't sound this way, but is it because you were maybe unpopular in school, so you spent a lot of time alone? Like where do you think that comes from? Or is it something that your parents really instilled in you?
My parents definitely hard workers. You know, it was. I'm really lucky to be able to do something that I enjoy, you know, a lot, and to focus all my time and energy into that. But yeah, I like because I like focusing on things that matter. You know, you go into a nightclub, right? You go to a nightclub. There's a lot of good-looking people hanging out, right? The thing that really changes the energy is when someone who's accomplished something walks in, right? Like, you know, like you walk in and it's just people there are some people just there to party, and there's certain people there as like just a brief escape from doing something. And those are the people. So I would rather be that guy than just,
for sure,
you know, what are you just going to hang out?
Spectator.
Yeah, spectator. Like, don't be a spectator in life in any capacity. Like, go do something.
Okay, so speaking of clubs, this is another bullet from Evan. So he said, and this, feel free to refute this.
Okay.
So Evan and his wife took you dancing at one point, and he said that you'd never been to a proper dance party before.
Not really. Yeah, this was in Texas. We're at South by. Yeah, we're in South by, and it was like Lisa was saying, we're gonna go dancing. I was like, oh really? I was like, I never really went to just a dance, like that type of dance club. Sure. I'd never done it before, so we went, and just like that, it was fun. It was like really fun. I don't think I've been since. It was fun. I'm waiting for Evan and Lisa, you know, to take me again. But it was really, really fun. That's true. That's so rare. It's so rare that I like go out, and I'm trying right now. I haven't done stand up in a little while. I'm trying to squeeze in a few more like new experiences and things like that, like when I can. But I find myself getting bored constantly. Like if I'm not working, I get bored. Evan, at least that night was fun.
Yes, I feel like I've been cheated on by Evan. He's never taken me dancing. No,
he never took you dancing? I mean, now he's got a kid.
I know, that's true.
He's going to go dancing again.
He may not have much dancing time. But if you were to think of anything that occurs to you as mistakes that novice comedians or stand-up comedians make, what are some common mistakes?
People focus on the wrong things. There are a lot of comedians who aren't funny at all or don't have stage presence but have excellent websites. You know, like they have excellent websites and the shiniest business cards and the headshots are impeccable. And who gives a fuck?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they focus on the wrong things. If you focus on, and we actually just talked about that, like if you focus on the work, I think that's all it is. Like just focus on the content. Focus on exactly what you're putting out.
If you had to choose 3 comedians of any type to combine into one super comedian for yourself right now, who comes to mind, and why would you pick them? Understanding that I'm sure you have a lot of influences and there are a lot of incredibly funny people out there, but
just like current,
they don't, alive or dead.
Ooh, that's interesting. Richard Pryor. I mean, just for being raw, not you got to say Richard, right? He's the Tupac of comedy, right? You know, every list.
Also, probably one of my mom's, if not favorite comedians, top 3.
Yeah. I mean, because he was honest, right? So Richard Pryor for honesty. Bo Burnham, he's a friend of mine, but I mean it wholeheartedly. Like Bo Burnham, because he's one of my favorite people to just watch perform. He's such a performer. He's like your eyes never move away from him while he's on stage. You're always excited, and he's one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. And that's a good one. What's a good? That third spot is hard because it's like Lewis Black has amazing timing. Ellen draws people in such a great way.
Ellen DeGeneres is so good. I did a show and I told her, I was like, you got to do stand up again. She was really good at stand up. Oh man, it doesn't have to be just 3. I mean, you can take
like those that I named are great. I mean, it's hard to say Cosby now to someone without then a slew of other questions. But I mean, as far as a comedian, he was, excellent. And I mean, his rhythm and control over a room was great. Chris Rock, man, it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of greats out there. What in general do you think separates a
Dave Chappelle's obviously,
incredible. What separates a good working comedian from a great comedian?
Good from great. I think honesty, and by honesty, I mean just like your own truth. Whatever excites you, whatever you're excited to perform or say or do on stage, being honest to that. An understanding of perception. Because as a performer, you have to know how this is coming across. Right. And you have to adjust accordingly because, sometimes you want to make sure the intention is showing and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you think you're being like, I get on stage and I'm so, I'm honest and I'm these things. And it may seem like you're just bullshitting,
right. Right.
You have to be aware of what the audience is seeing, and a business sense, like a good sense of realizing that it is an industry.
Mm-hmm.
It is because a lot of times comedians get frustrated with certain things, but it's like, that's part of a business. Like, understanding business to a certain extent is really important. I think having an appreciation for it helps too.
Mm-hmm.
If you can learn to appreciate it's hard with art because you want to keep it separate and you want to make something that's pure, but you also want to know how to market it and you also want to know how to, that's really important.
It's tough. I mean, and as you pointed out with the shiny business cards on the websites, the marketing can turn into a crutch and a tool for procrastinating doing the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
The deep work.
Absolutely. You make this thing and then you figure out, all right, well, how do we get this in the right hands? How do we make sure the right people see and hear this?
Your on-stage persona seems, and maybe this will sound strange, but a little darker than your sort of in real life persona. Is that a deliberate decision or is that just how the inner truths come out? What is the...
It's a certain amount of comfort on stage. I'm in this environment where I can share these thoughts, no matter how dark or how weird they may be. It's like, in this lovely setting, I wish we could see just this, in this lovely setting.
We're sitting in an outdoor garden with wooden tables with our pomegranate tea, sparkling water, and blueberries.
Yeah. It's super delightful and not the place for some of my
dark thoughts,
the darkest thoughts and like things that I want to explore. I mean, I'm open to any conversation. I actually prefer, the realer the conversation, the better. Like, small talk is obviously boring and you don't want to get caught up in that type of thing. But on stage, I'm just so comfortable sharing. It's something that kind of clicks and you're just like, oh, okay, this. And
I suppose that's the environment for it, right? I mean,
that's the environment.
That's where you have the immunity bracelet too. As the sort of
socially, you have certain cautions. I'm sorry to cut you off, you have certain cautions and certain things that you don't want to cross because, again, in this environment, you don't want to make people uncomfortable. They didn't sign up for that, right? But I try and enter stage with zero fear and just this is what I wanted to say.
What do you to achieve that state of zero fear? I'm sure repetition has a lot to do with it, but let's say before your special,
the
first special, what did you say to yourself before getting on stage, or what did your pregame look like?
I try to keep it just honest to any performance. That one I remember just being in the back and. I remember there being like a couple too many people in the green room. You gotta like kind of ask to leave, and you just want to think about jokes. And like the first tape, and I was too aware of the production. And then that same night you do 2 shows. So then the second show, it was just kind of like, I'm not thinking about the production at all. Like I just want to think about the material because that's what we wanted to capture. So I was in the right space by the second show. The first show, I was still kind of a producer. And I was still cameras and this type of thing, and a bit more, hands on. And then the second show, I was just.
So you seem like a very confident guy. When do you have self-doubt, or can you remember a point anytime in your life when you had like a particularly dark period or a lot of self-doubt?
I mean, as a kid, if you don't know exactly who you are, then it leaves room for so many questions. So, and that's self-doubt manifesting itself in that form of just questioning everything about you. And once you kind of figure that out, so truthfully, humor played a big role in that. Like, so I'm kind of have a similar demeanor since the eighth grade. I think since discovering that, it's kind of been a similar, vibe for me. Yeah. Just like, I know what I'm good at. I know what my abilities are, and anything else I don't really care about.
What's your position on writer's block?
It's necessary. It's a necessary, it's natural. You can try and get yourself out of it. You just kind of have to release it. And maybe a lot of times I realize for me, it means that I'm holding on too tight and I'm trying too hard, maybe a certain thing. And I just need to let it go.
How do you do that?
Focus on something else, focus on something else, and then it'll come to you. This
is a very exciting location.
It is very exciting. Oh, there are a lot of people on a balcony.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
A lot of people jumping around
and
across the street,
screaming on a balcony, and it looks like it's going to end horrible. A man just skated out on a balcony. Oh, it's going to end very bad. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement here.
Or not, or it's someone's birthday. I don't know why I immediately went to a negative. Like, oh, there's no way this ends good. There's no way. Oh, there's definitely domestic abuse going on in there. You got someone. I mean, if you see something, say something. But I'm saying something.
I see a poodle, and it looks like it's on the edge of the precipice. But
yeah,
so much going on in Los Angeles today.
Yeah.
What types of things do you shift your focus to when you're trying to let go? Does that mean you go bowling? Does that mean you watch a movie?
A lot of times, yeah, I like taking in other content, so maybe watch a movie, watch something that's interesting, read a book, go on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been walking as much as I used to. I used to walk around all the time. I did the other night in the rain. It was one of the greatest nights ever. I just walked around in the rain for 2 hours and listened to Marvin Gaye.
That sounds amazing. What precipitated that?
It was raining, and I had 2 hours. I had 2 hours free. It was late. I should have been asleep, but I was like, oh, it's raining. I was leaving dinner, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to go on a walk. And I was on my way back to my place, and I was like, no, I'm just going to go on a walk. And I didn't think it was going to be that long, but it was 2 hours in the rain. The hood off, kept the hood off, just let it. Yeah, it was great.
Why did you decide to keep the hood off?
Just wanted to experience the rain.
I like it.
It was rain, it was I don't want to. It's if I'm gonna be in the rain, I'm gonna be in the rain.
Right.
If you gotta do it,
don't deny the experience.
Don't deny the experience. So I just walked around. It was great.
You mentioned books. Do you like to read?
It's fun. It's really fun. I like biographies, and I like I'd never been a guy that got into like novels, and we were talking about science fiction books earlier, because I always like information. Sure. I was like, I want information, and then I'll create a thing, but I just want information. But I read the book, The Sellout.
The Sellout.
Yeah. It's excellent. The language.
Is it a
reminds
novel?
Me of it reminds me of language wise of the Confederacy of Dunces.
Sure.
The language is so good. It's so I literally was driving around repeating sentences from the book just over and over. It's so good.
How did you choose The Sellout? Was it recommended to you, or
Yeah, a friend of mine recommended it to me, and it just won. I mean, I'm sure I'm sure a lot of people have read it. It won. I can't remember the
Booker Prize.
The Booker Prize. It won the Booker Prize. Yeah. But a friend of mine recommended it to me, and the language in it is. I mean, the language excites me. Because it's so well written,
crafted,
so well crafted.
Yeah.
Is these lines that I wish I could think of.
You mentioned you mentioned Malcolm X. Are there any other autobiographies or biographies that you could recommend?
I wish I remember who wrote it, but I read the Humphrey Bogart biography that I loved. God, I wish I knew the author.
I can look it up and I'll put it in the show notes for folks.
Yeah, and his story is so interesting, and just like him kind of starting so late, you know, like or getting the recognition so late. But like any good thing, like we found a man who knew who he was. By the time he achieved stardom, he knew exactly who he was. So it was so.
If you were talking to someone, because this has come up a few times, who had the self-doubt because everything was open to question, they hadn't discovered something like comedy early on, how would you suggest they learn who they are?
Sit alone, be alone, sit in silence. You know what I mean? Like, and not just saying like some, you know, shaman-esque experience where someone will just sit and think, go on, like get to know yourself and be honest with your, like the responses that you have, you know, emotionally to things. Like know what you're good at, have an honest assessment of yourself, honest assessment of your life, and know what you're good at and know where you can contribute the most. Find out where you can control, because it's not always through work. You know, like a lot of people, sometimes people make the mistake of like thinking it's always through what you won't always have necessarily that career, but your life can be fulfilled and you can contribute in a meaningful way, you know, to those around you, to, you know, your environment. So just try and contribute.
Well, I think what you said just before that also is really important, and that is being aware of how you emotionally respond to things.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot, and I did this for a long time, I learned how to mute that because I was trying to be so hyper analytical that I didn't pay attention to my visceral response to things. And that is this sort of massive computing power of the subconscious that is telling you something. And I learned to override it for so long.
Yes.
And I only really in the last few years have felt very comfortable in my own skin. It's because I've started to, I think in part, pay a lot more attention to that. If I'm sitting with someone and the deal they're pitching sounds great, but I just feel off around them, I pay more attention to that now.
Because this is someone that you're going to work with a lot. You know, like you're going to have a lot of interactions with. And if something is off, if it's just not right, then something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like it's going to hit, that feeling is going to be addressed either immediately or it's going to be delayed. And I'd rather address it now
up front
and avoid, avoid
absolutely.
like a disaster.
A 10x compounded disaster later.
Exactly.
And it took me a long time to learn that a good contract doesn't make a good relationship.
At all.
At all.
At all.
It's basically just, this is what happens if we get a divorce, but it doesn't ensure you're going to have a good marriage.
Does it? That's excellent. That doesn't ensure a good marriage.
When you hear the word successful, to you, who comes to mind?
Oh, man. Jay-Z, Steve Jobs, Jerry Seinfeld, Oprah.
All good names, all well-known names. Is there any particular commonality for you?
Honesty. They're themselves. They're very unapologetic about being themselves. That's pretty much it. And they've found a way to let that come out in an artful way. Like through their work or their art and their careers, like they found a way to build a career around them. As opposed to, you know,
bending themselves to what they perceive as a career.
Exactly. So those are
I don't know if you're much of a gift giver, but do you give books or anything else to people as gifts? Like, what are your go-to gifts?
If I'm excited about anything, then I try and share it with everybody in my life immediately. If I go to a new restaurant and I love it, all of my friends have gone there with me. At some point, I'm bringing everybody. I need you to share it. And I also want to talk about it with you. Yeah. You know, I want to have an exchange. I want to like analyze it. I love that. That's what I live for. So, like, if I love a book, then I send it. I send it to everybody.
What is the last book or any books that come to mind that you've done that with?
What's the last book that I sent to everybody? Was there was this book by Eric Butterworth, Discover the Power Within You, that kind of interpreted the Bible in an interesting way to me, and the way that I feel like I always knew and understood it, or the way I wanted to understand it, and it articulated it in such a great way that I was like, everybody, religious, not religious, it's really good about discovering self, about answers being within, about that.
Eric Butterworth.
His name makes you want waffles. Right? Or like just
it does.
Yeah.
It does now, especially since you've now said it. Now I really want waffles.
Yeah.
Do you remember the title, or I can find the title?
Yeah, Discover the Power Within You. I don't like the title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, sure.
Just
very
putting
literal.
it out there. It's a bit on the nose. It's a bit on the
Hard
nose.
to
I was
be
like,
more on
nothing
the
else.
nose.
Yeah, nothing else. Like nothing else. I guess it's good. I mean, there are no unanswered questions in that title, but I sent it to everybody. I mean, atheist friends got that book. You know what I like about like that book? People, I noticed the people who got it and the people who didn't. It was like accepting certain truths sound really cheesy.
Yeah.
Right. And if you can get, people won't allow themselves to accept it. Like, like certain, that you are what you think and you are what you believe types of things. And like that you do need to affirm certain principles that like sound super cheap. And don't get me wrong, like, cause I analyze everything and I'm like pick on everything. And I get that if you can get beyond that and just accept it, and don't make yourself feel guilty about it.
Sure.
I really think it, like a lot of principles in it can change your life.
It makes me think of a guest I had on some time ago, Shay Carl, who's a huge YouTube celebrity, is I think close to 3 billion views now.
Insane.
And he's also a very atypical YouTube star in the sense that it's the Shaytards. It's Shay and his family.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of kids in Utah.
Oh,
and
really?
so it's not the typical fast cut, 18-year-old making videos for 12-year-old setup.
Yeah.
It's very atypical in that sense. But he said whenever, and again, paraphrasing, but roughly when you hear a cliche, pay attention because a truth is being told.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that's true of all cliches. I don't think it is. But I've come to appreciate things that I always disregarded because I heard them too often, like water under the bridge, don't cry over spilt milk.
Yes.
You learn to turn off your interpretation of that. You just disregard it.
You disregard it. And you're looking for, well, what's the real answer?
And it's like, no, that's actually really deep.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Things that your fourth grade teacher told you.
Yeah.
Kind of true.
Yeah.
Wait, I can be anything?
Yeah.
It's hard to accept because the world just jades you. It makes you, what is the world doing to us?
If you had to give, say, a TED Talk about something you're not known for, so it can't be comedy, probably it can't be television, can't be writing, what topic would you choose?
Choosing the right friends. I think that choosing the right people to be around that will spark certain things within you, and knowing how you can use each other, and how you can contribute to each other's lives. I think I could.
So this is such an important topic. If for people listening who say, yes, I want to learn more about this, is there some recommendation or an exercise or an action step or something I should do more of or less of? Is there an action that you could recommend?
Don't disregard, don't dismiss anyone, right? Actually look for, this is going to sound so cheesy, right? But you've
already given them the cat.
I've already, So at my best, I do this this exercise, and I could have read this somewhere. I'm not even saying that I've made this up. I think I did, but I may have read it somewhere, so my apologies. But it's like I pretend I'm at the bottom of a well, and every face that I see, I imagine them being the face that peers over inside and has the ability to help me and like rescue me from something. And it makes you look at everyone looks, first of all, amazing.
When you're at the bottom of a well.
When you're at the bottom of a well and everyone looks in and in that's like just an exercise for just people in general. But it really means that everyone does have an ability to give something to you and just kind of looking for that and searching for that first in people. Oh, it helps tremendously.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really visual exercise for me, which helps too. I'm just very visually hardwired.
You see it, if you do that, like I was at like outside a movie theater and I was doing it once and just everyone was glowing.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone was just like, oh man, thank God for you. Oh, I'm so happy you're here.
Outside a movie theater, were you waiting for someone or were you just...
I was loitering. Literally loitering outside of a movie theater. Like it was years ago. I left the movie and I was just sitting outside of it loitering. Just kind of thinking.
Just sitting with yourself.
Being a weirdo. being a guy who clearly doesn't have a girlfriend.
What is bad advice that is given out frequently in your world?
Oh,
and you
man,
can define
so
and you can pick any world that you're involved with.
Anything that begins with you gotta.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta do anything. like you got in my world, where do I begin? It's 99.9% bad advice.
Yeah.
And it's such a new, scary world, like especially entering into comedy or television or film, and you're looking for answers.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to figure it out, but nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Everyone's making it up. You know, and it's a lot of times it's people can only tell you what works for them. And maybe that applies to you, you know, like as far as technical things, like maybe that applies to you, maybe it doesn't. So even just like, I don't know, the worst thing is just like looking for it. It's probably like looking for like advice. Just don't listen to anybody.
Or if you're looking for advice and it starts with you gotta
see when you gotta, like, it's usually people who, like, aren't where they want to be.
Yeah.
The person who just readily hands out advice is usually not where they want to be. You know, like busy people aren't just around in the back telling you what you got to do next.
Although if someone finds you loitering in front of a movie theater.
Yeah, I may be, you know. Like,
available for advice.
I like to think I loiter the way Socrates does, but we all like to think the best of ourselves.
Oh, man. What is your favorite, or do you have any favorite failures? Meaning a failure or something that was perceived as a failure by you or other people that ended up setting the stage for greater successes.
I did they had this comedy showcase in San Diego years ago. It was just starting off, and it was the NBC Diversity Showcase. And I should have never done that. Should have never gone down. I went down to it. I didn't make it to the final round, mind you. Thank God. Oh my God, it could have ended horribly. Like, because if had I made it to the final round, I would not have a show on NBC. Why do you say that? Because they would have put me in a box. I'm the diversity kid,
diversity champion.
Yeah, the diversity champion. It's like when in, like, Miss America, like, what am I gonna go around and like
that's
do a
on
couple
your bio
parades
for the rest
and
of your
wave?
life.
Yeah, that's it's immediately like a box that you're in. I'm so thankful I didn't, like, and it's really just a thing that people do to feel good about. Feel good about themselves, like the corporations do to feel good about themselves. You know, like I'm so thankful. I call that one of my biggest mistakes. Even going. I'm so thankful that I didn't make it to the final round of that, because it would have ruined everything. Like seeking any shortcut or easy answer is always a mistake. You know, the pyramid scheme of it all.
Pyramid scheme of comedy.
Of comedy. Yeah. Like so I'm really happy I did that, because it made me ignore anything that could be remotely, like, I would. For me personally, and I'm not, because people have benefited from this and have turned it into lucrative, amazing careers. But for me personally, like I would never do any type of reality competition type. No, I wouldn't. I always refused that. And like the closest I came was like within my first year doing that.
how do you walk, and maybe it's not a fine line, but I'm sure people think about this. How do you establish a unique style yourself without getting pigeonholed?
Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Listen to what you want to do. And if you don't want to do it anymore, stop. Change, like grow, change, evolve. You are unique, it's the most unique thing you can do is be yourself.
Yeah.
This is, God, I sound like a real substitute teacher right now. A real substitute teacher.
No, but
just
it's true. Who is it? Groucho Marx or Oscar Wilde? I always confuse those two, but it's like, be yourself, everybody else is taken.
Everybody else is taken. That's it's a perfect way of saying it. Like that's.
And if you want to sound like a substitute teacher, I'll just sound like a fortune cookie, or like the back page of a newspaper that's full of quotes. But also, you mentioned something earlier, which was the people who matter don't mind. And Dr. Seuss has a great quote, which is the people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind.
Yes, yes, exactly. It really, Dr. Seuss got it.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss had a lot to him.
Yeah, that guy was. Oh man, I went. I go on stage and you see a lot. What's interesting about comedy is that you get to see a lot of immediate examples of what you're doing. It's like
you mean in terms of immediate feedback?
Well, not even feedback, but like the competition type of thing. Like if you're in maybe in a tech world, like some type of expo, right. Where you get to see what other people are doing.
Right.
With comedy, that's every night. Every night there's a new, it's a
new showcase,
like the 3E or not 3. What's the electronics expo? Whatever, CES and all that type of stuff. In the, it's like Comic-Con every night. You're just seeing what everybody's doing, right? And so you get to know where you are in context of your world, pretty quickly.
Well, especially if you've chosen to put yourself in a place like LA.
Yes, that's why it's important for me. That's why it was important. And to some people, I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm sure you could find immediately a story that is like, well, this guy was in, Kansas and did all right for himself. But like, I really think that knowing where you fit in context, like if, doing a television show, I watch all the television shows. Doing film, I'm watching every film, especially current, like, because you want to know where you fit you want to know where you fit in history, and you want to know where you fit in the current landscape. So it's important to be informed. For me, again, for me it is. I like to know.
So when you moved out here to do comedy, did you have in your mind any backup plan? Like if the comedy doesn't work out, or I'm going to give myself 6 months, or any type of thinking along those lines?
No plan B for me. I mean, I had an aunt who, the closest I came to a plan B was that I was in LA for a little bit, and I have an aunt in New York that I was like, well, if it doesn't work for some reason here and I'm just homeless, then I'll go stay with her.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that's a plan B, right? I mean, but it's a mentally you had de-risked it for yourself in a way.
Yeah, but really that was even like that was a long shot to make,
right?
And I would have just gone to New York and done the exact same thing that I'm doing here,
right?
So it was kind of just another route to plan A for me.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was just so that was the closest to a B. It was like an 8.5.
Just taking another lap around the track.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, well, because I was just here just doing stand up, and I was like, well. And that was purely a logistic thing where I was like, well, if I can't, I just literally can't sleep on the street, I guess.
Frowned upon.
Which I would have been, truthfully, I would have been cool with for a little while. Thank God I didn't have to, but I would have been cool with that. I loved it. I loved doing comedy. So I would have just gone to New York and just, stayed there.
If for whatever reason at some point you stop liking comedy, let's just say, but you need to keep yourself busy, what would you do instead?
I'd take an educated swing at something else. I don't know. I just stopped liking comedy.
Or you were like, you know what? I've been doing this for, let's say down the road, you're like 20 years, 30 years in. Okay, I just need a gear shift for a little bit to come back to this fresh.
I don't know. I'd probably do some weird artist stuff. Go be like Bob Dylan, start painting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like just like record some songs in a nice basement.
Yeah.
Release it under an alias. That type of stuff.
Sure.
Like it's probably something creative or something like really specific, or just substitute teach for a little bit. You know, like just see what I don't know.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll be in love with comedy for a very long time to come. If you had a huge billboard and you could put any short message on it or an image, non-commercial, just to get something out to the world, what would you put on it?
Oh, wow. I mean, come on, man. That's a great. Give me a second. You're gonna have to edit out a long pause.
Oh, I like the pauses. I'll let the silence do the work on this one.
Oh man. Oh, this is. I mean, yeah. This is genuinely hard because you're like probably don't listen to anybody.
Don't listen to anybody.
Yeah. You know, like, and obviously that comes with obviously you'll collaborate with people and you'll be so inspired by others and there are people that you'll work with. But what I mean is just like anything that directs you away from you, ignore it.
Or anything that starts with you gotta.
Anything that starts with you ain't gotta do anything, man. Just bad grammar. I have to use bad grammar. You ain't gotta do nothing.
All right, so there are two things from Evan that I wanted to make sure I hit.
Yeah.
So the first one, maybe we may not explore for very long. The last point he said was he has an 8-foot penis. So did that come about because of the scene in Neighbors? That for those who haven't seen the film,
I don't know where that came from. I genuinely don't know where. It may be a thing he may have said to me. I never thought I would have to clear that rumor up. It's not that long. That's the other direction of like what girl's gonna want to sleep with me
when you have to coil it around your waist like
that
a
just
belt.
Sounds cumbersome.
Okay, I think you probably didn't expect me to bring that up in the podcast, but I had to.
I'm trying, and watch it's gonna hit me like in the car later. I'm like, that's what he meant by that. I'm wondering if it's something else.
We can do a postscript.
Exactly.
Can have it run on the credits. All right, so the point that I think we might be able to unpack a little bit more is he's mentioned that, and you talked about the newspaper earlier, and I guess it was Kwame. Is that his name?
Yeah. Yep.
Who got you reading the paper? That you can read something, say in the newspaper, and then use it somehow on stage that night. And what helps you to do that? Or how do you
kind of being in tune with your feelings, you know, and your thoughts and your true feelings. Like I will say a lot of times I'll be able to like say a joke the first time and it's kind of a finished product. You know, like I'll say there was a thing that was like online of just me talking about Chick-fil-A. That was virtually my first time doing that joke. I think I like maybe mentioned it the night before, but it was like the first time it just sounds like a finished product because it's like, oh no, I know how I feel about this. I know what I want to say and the points I want to hit, and then you say it, and then that's it. So I think it is just like kind of being in tune. If you're in tune, things come out a little bit, you know, easier.
Is there anything in your creative process for developing material that is unusual when you describe it to other stand-up comedians or other people?
It's a good question. I mean, I wonder what's unusual about it. Because I think I ignore a lot of things that people don't like, meaning like industry stuff and, you know, like things that I think things that matter to a lot of comedians don't necessarily matter to me. Or I realize that it's kind of going back to what we said earlier, like focusing on just myself and the work gets that thing that, you know, so I think I ignore more things than like a lot of comedians.
What helps you to do that? do you say anything to yourself in particular? Is that just hardwiring?
Yeah, I mean it's both emotional and logical to me. Like, emotionally it's just like, well, if I don't think that I can, if I don't think this is meaningful, then I'll cut it out of my life. And logically, if you look at history, you'll see the things that fall out, and you can read this. That's why I like reading biography. You read about people's mistakes and read about the things that ultimately didn't matter. So it's like, I don't want to focus any energy on anything that doesn't matter or won't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
The distractions of life.
Yeah, the distractions of life. Yeah, I mean that's probably that's probably why I'm not like, and also that is a personal thing, because for instance, we were talking about like social media, right? And certain people are great and a source of inspiration and a source of like great content on social media. For me, it doesn't contribute to my life in a meaningful way, so I don't do it. Yeah.
This is a left turn, but all of these are left turns. So I guess we're just going in a square, kind of counterclockwise. Anyway, what purchase of, say, less than $100, but just any purchase really is fine, that has had the most positive impact on your life in recent memory?
Probably ever, like a notebook.
A
notebook and pens, like just write. And I don't even write out jokes, but I write out thoughts.
What type of notebook?
Goals and thoughts.
Goals and thoughts.
Yeah.
What do you have a particular type of notebook that you like?
I mean, my grandma would get me some for like Christmas. These little small pocket size one, but really any notebook will do. Just any like notebook. That and the bolognese at John and Benny's are the two most impactful.
The bolognese at John and Benny's.
Yeah, the bolognese at John and Benny's, and notebooks.
What types of thoughts do you write down? Because we all have 1 million plus thoughts a day. What types of things do you write down?
Really anything that sticks out, how I feel about people, how I feel about me, what I want, just like anything that's like worth just kind of journaling, essentially.
It seems to have a strong, it seems to tie back a lot to what you were mentioning earlier, which is your emotional response to different things.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what my emotional response, it's like capture. I want to know, because you see it, if you look at it and if you write down a goal, like you have this image now in your head. It's not just this floating thought. It's an image that you have in your head.
What types of goals would you write down?
I'll write down really like general and like specific things.
Can you give any examples?
Like, I mean, for instance, like
present?
Really the two first career goals I remember. I wrote down that I wanted my first time doing stand up on television to be HBO, and I wanted a show on NBC. I remember writing like that. Those are very broad goals, but I wrote down specifically like the HBO thing. And actually, as I was like just doing stand up and going over like old thoughts, like preparing for the first special, I actually grabbed an old notebook, the one I didn't realize I'd written it in, and the night before we taped, and I kind of like opened it and I turned the page, and there it was, like the goal, like HBO special.
Now, did you write it down once and then it was embedded for years?
There. I can still tell you exactly how it was written on the page. It's like I skipped a few lines. HBO was written in big letters, and then I wrote like just a couple sentences about how I wanted to look and feel. Documentary is written down, so I wanted it to be a documentary, and like specific like ideas about it. Same thing for the next. We just did I just taped another special, and same thing. Same pay. I like the word invasive. Is written down. Invasive. I wanted it invasive. I wanted it emotionally honest. I wanted it to go past just jokes, and I didn't want to just tell you jokes, and I wanted it just to be real and exploration. Like these certain words that I think is captured. I mean, Bold directed, and it's like really, I think he's brilliant, and he captured it so perfectly. But yeah, these really personal things.
Well, I think you are one of the most honest and dangerous in the best way possible comedians out there today.
Thank you very much.
I really enjoy your work. Do you have any parting thoughts, comments, requests of the people listening? And then I'll ask you where people can find you and everything you're up to.
No. Try the bolognese. Try the bolognese at John and Benny's.
Try the bolognese. And then I'm going to try, and I'd recommend people try the face at the top of the well exercise.
Oh,
I like that.
That's perfect. You plugged it for me. I'm
That's
saying
my job.
It's I really want to see if I created it or stole it from someone. I genuinely don't know.
I'm sure someone out there will be
Someone
able to
will be
figure
like,
it out.
no, I was doing face at the top of wealth for 30 years. Like someone's gonna say it or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we can
find out it's like in the Tao Te Ching.
It might be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everything that is old is once new again. But this has been a lot of fun, man. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
This is awesome, man.
Yeah,
It's
and
great talking
what
to you.
a great environment. All sorts of weirdness. We have a wooden horse to the left of us.
Yeah, it is. The horse. It's like a retired merry-go-round horse. It's like it retired here.
There's a lot happening right now, and I want to let you get back to your day. Where can people find you? What you're up to? What can they check out? Where should they start? Anything you want to tell them?
Be around, man. That's kind of the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe loitering outside a movie theater, probably walking around LA or New York.
Website, social?
Nah.
All right. I'm gonna sneak it into the show notes for people interested.
Yeah, it's there.
They can find you.
Yeah, I'm around.
It's people know how to use Google, and if
I'll
you don't,
see you guys.
How the hell did you find this podcast?
Say hi.
All right, guys. I will put links to everything we've talked about in the show notes, as per usual, and you can find those notes, links, as well as every other episode at 4hourworkweek.com/podcast, all spelled out, 4hourworkweek.com/podcast. And until next time, thank you for listening.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Fun.
We'll have a round two soon.
Hey guys, this is Tim again. Just a few more things before you take off. Number one, this is 5 Bullet Friday. Do you want to get a short email from me? Would you enjoy getting a short email from me every Friday that provides a little morsel of fun before the weekend? And 5 Bullet Friday is a very short email where I share the coolest things I've found or that I've been pondering over the week. That could include favorite new albums that I've discovered. It could include gizmos and gadgets and all sorts of weird shit that I've somehow dug up in the world of the esoteric as I do. It could include favorite articles that I've read and that I've shared with my close friends, for instance. And it's very short. It's just a little tiny bite of goodness before you head off for the weekend. So if you want to receive that, check it out. Just go to 4hourworkweek.com. That's 4hourworkweek.com, all spelled out, and just drop in your email and you will get the very next one. And if you sign up, I hope you enjoy it.